All right, guys, I'm a little nervous about this one. This video, we are talking about how we are buying our second property, our second house in a seller's market. And am I an idiot? Am I an idiot? I have been called an idiot quite a bit recently. The comments on my YouTube channel, whew, they have been rough, but you know what? It is what it is. I can totally take the hate. And today I want to talk about my thought process and my husband's thought process. We have talked long and hard about buying a second home and how we came about that decision. And honestly, our views have changed over the past couple weeks, and we're totally open with you guys. I did a video a week or so ago about our next financial goal. And in that video, I announced that we are buying another property, a house or a condo, to make into an Airbnb. And even since that video, our views have changed. So I'm going to talk about those views here. I'm going to give you a full breakdown of everything. If you're new, welcome. My name is Kelly Ann Smith with freedomandabudget.com. And I have a channel here on YouTube where I talk about our financial journey and helping you make really good big money goals, hit those money goals. I brought you along from learning how to make my first budget to learning how to pay off debt, becoming debt-free, cash flowing my dream car, cash flowing my wedding, buying our first house, and learning how to invest. And I brought you along this whole journey and helping you to learn how to manage your money, show you how we've messed up with money, how we've learned with money. And I have been more in the education space on my channel, and I wanted to get back to my roots. And the beginning of my YouTube channel was a lot more personal. And so I was like, all right, let's get back to the roots. Let's bring you along on my journey of the next big financial goal that we have. Now, the reason why I haven't talked about big goals or, our financial journey or gotten more personal recently is just because we've been doing the same thing over and over for the past couple of years. So there wasn't this big exciting thing that we can work towards since we bought our house. So now that we have another financial goal, I want to bring you along on that journey. So what we're talking about today, like I said, is our next property, and we're buying this house in a seller's market. And a lot of people, including my realtor, my mortgage broker, are like, why? Why are you doing this? Why are you buying in a seller's market? You are going to be spending so much more money than you need to on this house. And what's going on? Why are you doing this? Well, like I said, we have thought about this long and hard, and we've done a lot of research, and even talking through a lot of those hard questions with my realtor especially. She was like, you know what, Kelly? I see your point. I see why you want to do this. And yes, it's a seller's market. So yes, properties are inflated, but you have to think that when those properties are inflated, when it's a seller's market, that's when interest rates are lower. So if we're going to wait until the end of this seller's market is over, most likely, really most likely, the interest rates are going to be back up, back to 4%, 4.5%, who knows, but they're going to be much higher than they are right now. Right now, they're in the high twos, which is a lot more affordable for interest rates. So when you do the math and balance it out between interest rates versus increased price, then you can really see a big difference of, okay, yeah, it may be worth it to do the property now, especially with it being an investment property. This is a property that we're going to be making money on. We're going to be making an income on this, and you're going to be making a lot more in short-term rentals versus long-term rentals. So yes, having a tenant, a long-term rental tenant, is going to be a lot less work, but the profit is a lot less than you can have with a long-term rental. We did the math, and for a long-term rental, you can get maybe anywhere from $300 to $500 a month profit. With long-term rentals, we're estimating between $1,000 and $3,000 on average of profit for this rental for the month, which is incredible. So with that profit, we decided that it's going to be worth it. And my realtor told us a story of when she bought her house years ago. She bought it for $80,000. And at that time, interest rates were much higher. Now, that same house, if it was today for $300,000, with the interest rates being so much lower than they were, the mortgage payment would be the same. The monthly payment would be about the same, which is crazy. So just because the house was only $80K, but the interest rates were much higher, you have to think of long term. What is the overall payment going to be? So with that being said, we've run the numbers. We have decided that we still want to go forward with this. We still want to buy, even though it's a seller's market, and even though we understand that, yes, interest rates are going to fluctuate, but we also don't know how long is the seller's market going to be. Is the seller's market going to be over next year? Is it going to be, early 2022 that it turns more into a buyer's market? Maybe, maybe not. Is it going to be 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 5 year? What would have happened if we would have waited until 5 years from now when it turns to be a buyer's market? That's 5 years worth of profit that we could be losing. And to me, honestly, I don't want to take that risk. I would rather buy it now, and we're going to be long-term investors with this. We're in it for the long haul. So it's not like we're buying a house for $250,000. Then next year it goes down in value to $200,000 and we lost $50,000. No, it's just like investing. You only lose your money if you sell. So we're going to be holding on to this property for years and years and years. And that's okay. We're going to know that over time, the property value is going to go up. And we're also going to be making a profit on it every single month that it's rented and that it's in that short-term rental on Airbnb. So that is what our thought process is for that. Now, since my video on our next financial goal, some things have changed and our thought process actually changed in this past week. The more research that we've done, the more that we've reached out to our realtor and actually went to look at actual houses, our thoughts have changed. The first thing is we have switched from wanting to get a condo to wanting to get a house. And I broke down in that video, so go watch it on a thought process on a condo. But we have found that restrictions are so much higher in a condo than a house. Now, some people were commenting, and we're going to get to comments in a little bit. I'm actually going to show you some of the comments that I received, that condos have HOA and houses do not. That is actually not true. The house that we live in now has an HOA. We live in Florida. HOAs are very, very, very common here in both houses and condos. You can find condos without HOAs. You can find houses with HOAs. So just because it's a condo doesn't mean it's always going to have an HOA. Just because it's a house doesn't mean it's always not going to have an HOA. But condos, especially if it does have an HOA, they can change their mind at the blink of a hat saying we no longer allow short-term rentals. We don't allow Airbnb. We don't allow VRBO or anything like that. And then if that happens, that sucks. So we have decided that because of the restrictions that condos have and the ability that they have to change their mind at the drop of a hat, we have decided to go against going with a condo. A lot of people also said that they don't like condos or they're nervous about condos because of noise constraints. So if someone is loud, then we can get fined, we can get in trouble for a loud, rowdy party or anything like that. They do have monitors that we'll be investing in that have the decimals, so you can see what the decimal is and we can get alerted. If they're getting too loud, we'll get a notification and we can reach out to them saying, hey, you're being a little loud, please quiet down so that we're not disturbing neighbors and getting in trouble. So that is definitely something that we'll be investing in with this, so we can monitor that as well, and that's going to be with a house or a condo. Another thing that we're changing is we are no longer really, a little bit, but for the most part, we're no longer looking in Palm Beach or Broward County. That is where we originally were going to be looking because we live in Palm Beach County. We wanted something a little bit close, but rental restrictions are very, very, very restricted here. There are some Airbnbs that we have found, but it turns out that they are doing it under the rug. They are trying to be a little shady with it. And there have even been properties that we looked on Airbnb and we can see the front of the building. We can look up what condo it is and we call them and they say, we do not allow short-term rentals. So they're just waiting to get caught, or they're just trying to be shady about it and wait. We want to do everything by the book. We're going to be registering it as an LLC. We're going to be registering with the county. We're going to be paying any fees that we have to. We want this fully a full business, nothing shady, nothing that we're trying to, be quiet about, because this is a business. This is something that we're investing a couple $100,000 in. We don't want to just be like, oh, they shut us down. Oh, well, they shut us down. Then that's a lot of money that we invested in. With that being said, there is still the possibility of any time that they can put a restriction on short-term rentals in that city, even in the city that we're looking in or the cities that we're looking in. So with any property that we do buy, we will also run the numbers for long-term rental, because we would not like to go with long-term rental, but God forbid if we needed to, we want to still be able to do a long-term rental and have that option, even though we'll be losing money versus Airbnb. So that is going to be our backup for long-term rental. Right now we're looking in the Martin in St. Lucie County, which is about an hour to hour and a half north of us. This is a little bit farther than we wanted, but we are going to be hiring cleaners, property manager, all of that to take care of the property. And then we'll deal with more of the booking and through the app, all of that, and then have them do the cleaners. But we still want it to be close enough that we can still drive to it if something happens. It's only an hour, hour and a half away. But we found that properties in that area are so much cheaper, and it's a really big up and coming area. It's a beach town, and so we are really excited to be looking for properties in that area. Comment down below, would you like to see some videos of us house hunting, looking at properties? Is that something that you would be interested in? It's so fun. I spend hours and hours and hours looking at properties. So let me know, is that something you guys would be interested in? I would love to do some videos on that as well. Now, let's look at some of the comments, because there was some really interesting comments, and some of them I want to answer some questions that you may have in this video as well. So the first one is from my friend JJ Buckner, and he just says, yes. So JJ and I have been talking about rental properties for a long time, and he has wanted me to get into real estate investing, and so we are so excited to finally jump in, and I know that JJ is so excited for us and so proud. So thank you, JJ. I appreciate your support. All right, next one is from Elizabeth Durnan, and she says, my husband gave me some great advice a couple weeks ago. When I felt led to do something, he said, you need to speak with someone who thinks that what you're doing is a bad idea, and just listen. That will help you make up your mind with a big decision, and it certainly did for me. I absolutely agree with this 100%, and we've actually had this happen to us a couple times over the past, or more than a couple times, probably 5 or 6 times over the past couple weeks, of talking to people and them saying, I don't think that's a good decision, and them saying the reasons why, and then them asking us the really tough questions. Okay, what are you going to do in this situation? What are you going to do for this? Why do you want to do it now? What is your long-term goal? How long do you want to stay in the property? Then after all of those questions have been answered, every single one of them has looked at us and been like, you know what? Okay, I think that you should do what you feel led to do, and I don't see any red flags in your decision. So we are 100% on the same page with that, and think that it's important to talk to people that have different opinions with you, so that you can really see, is this something that I should be doing, or am I just too excited and not thinking rationally? Next comment is from True Treats, and she says, this would be right up my alley. My husband and I have always wanted to open a bed and breakfast. Have thought about an Airbnb thing too. Instead, just more something I could technically do as my thing. I've worked in a hotel and was going to start school for travel and hospitality. Life happened, so it's all not happened. But it's still something always on my heart. I love this. That is exactly how I feel too. Like, this is, I feel like, as close to owning a bed and breakfast as I'll ever get, because I love the hospitality aspect of it. I love the decorating, the interior design, the aspect of making it cozy and warm, and I want it to be something that they feel as a retreat, especially for people that are traveling long distances and they come into Florida, and I want something that they walk in, they're like, this is nice. This is cozy. I feel comfortable. This feels like home. This maybe has nicer towels that I have at home, which stay tuned for Friday's video, because I'm doing a full video on everything that I bought for the Airbnb that I don't own yet. So it's going to be a really fun video. It's actually a collab video with my girl, Budget Girl. So stay tuned for Friday. Next comment is from Diana Khan, and she says, sounds exciting for you. Have you considered getting a property in a different state? Also at a vacation-y type destination? I know someone who did that. She owns an Airbnb in the mountains, and she and her family use the house themselves on their own vacation in between rentals. Absolutely. This is something that we want so bad, because we do want to build a portfolio of properties. So we are deciding to do one in Florida that is close to us, the hour away, so that, you know, we can deal with everything that comes up, we can also learn about it. This is going to be such a huge learning curve for us. So we want to be able to learn everything and learn the ropes, all of that, get some experience under our belt on owning short-term rentals, and then build a portfolio of across the country and hire property managers, hire cleaners, all of that, so that we don't have to do that. But they're all going to be in places that we want to visit. And New England, I have family in New England. I'm from New England. I'm from Massachusetts. We want properties there. We want properties probably in Colorado and Arizona and different places, Tennessee. I would love to visit like somewhere outside Nashville, stuff like that, so that we can have properties all around the country, something maybe close to Waco, because I am obsessed with Waco and want to visit Waco so bad. So having properties all across the country that we can go and vacation for ourselves, and then have that investment in that real estate as well. Next comment is from Fofita17. As someone who lives in a condominium, we hate short-term rentals. I'm about an hour south of you, Pembroke Pines, Hollywood. I'm a board member of my HOA, and we are really cracking down on short-term rentals. As residents, we don't like the constant turnover of people, strangers who you don't know and or care for the property rules and regulations, and our community owners and long-term residents do. Our HOA requires owners to live at their properties for 2 years prior to renting them out, and we only allow one long-term rental per 12-month period. So this is a comment that I received very often. I've received multiple of these types of comments on that video. Now, I get it. I get how people don't respect the property. I get how people don't do it. I don't understand, because we've always been super quiet whenever we stayed at condos or anything like that. We've done quite a few Airbnbs. We've done houses. We've done condo associations. We've done them all through Airbnb. And we're always super quiet, super respectful. If we go to the pool, we follow the rules, all of that. So it really breaks my heart that people go to these places and aren't respectful. And they ruin it for the rest of us. But I get it. You know, I understand why, especially in quiet neighborhoods and quiet condo associations, they want to preserve that. They want to keep the residents happy. So this right here is one of the big reasons why we're moving towards looking for a house versus a condo, so that we don't have to worry about, we still want our people to be respectful and quiet and not destroy the property, but we also don't want to get in trouble with the HOA or the condo association and then have to shut our Airbnb down. Let me know if you like these videos, and if you want more on our investment property, our second property journey, definitely subscribe to the channel and let me know down below in the comments what types of videos you want. I am so excited to share more with you on this journey. Let's keep the conversation going. If you want to know 5 savings challenges to help you reach your money goals, check out this video here. And if you want to know habits of a millionaire, little things that you can do that millionaires do, check out this video here.